How could you be so selfish? My father yelled, his face red as he walked back and forth in the living room of their vacation home in Pine Lake. Your sister needs that money for her new business. You have more than enough. I stood there, shocked and silent, my hand still holding the property tax bill I'd just been given. What was supposed to be a calm Sunday dinner had turned into a harsh talk about why I wasn't helping out anymore. My name is Rebecca Patel, and at 33, I'd built a good career as a self-taught stock trader. I wasn't born rich. Everything I had, I earned through many late nights studying market trends and taking smart risks. For the past 5 years, I had quietly paid the property taxes on my parents' vacation home, covered my younger sister Maya's car payments, and paid for family trips without complaining. It was my way of giving back to the family who raised me, or so I thought. Dad, I've been paying for everything for years, I finally managed to say, my voice steadier than I felt. The property taxes, Maya's business trips, Mom's medical bills that insurance didn't cover. I've never asked for anything back, but I can't keep doing this forever. My mother sat quietly on the couch, her eyes on her hands in her lap. She wouldn't look at me, and that hurt more than my father's shouting. We gave you everything growing up, Dad continued, ignoring my words completely. And now that we need you, you're leaving us, while your sister is trying to make something of herself. That's when I saw the envelope on the coffee table, partly hidden under a magazine. I could see the words trust fund and Maya Patel in bold letters. My stomach dropped. I reached for the envelope before my father could stop me. "Rebecca, that's private," he snapped, but it was too late. I was already reading the paper, my hands shaking as the truth came out in cold, legal words. My father had set up a large trust fund for Maya, and only Maya. This was the same father who had told me for years that there wasn't enough money to help with my college fees, making me work many jobs while studying. The same father who now expected me to pay for their fancy life while secretly setting my sister up for life? "When were you going to tell me about this?" I whispered, a clear understanding washing over me. My whole life suddenly made sense. The favoritism, the different expectations, the constant demands hidden as family duties. I knew then that everything was about to change. My father grabbed the trust fund paper from my hands, but the damage was done. The numbers were burned into my mind. $350,000 put aside for Maya, with more money to be added later. All this while I'd been told again and again that family money was tight. "You weren't supposed to see that," he mumbled, folding the paper and putting it back in the envelope. "Clearly," I replied, my voice empty. "I guess that explains why you never helped with my student loans." Growing up, the pattern had always been there. Maya got dance lessons, while I was told to focus on school. She got a car for her 16th birthday. I took the bus until I saved enough from my after-school job to buy a used car. When college came, Maya went to a private university with family help, while I put together scholarships and worked 30 hours a week at a local coffee shop. I'd always thought it was because money situations changed or they had different ways of raising us. I never wanted to believe what was now clear. My parents simply valued Maya more. "Sweetheart," my mother finally spoke, her voice soft in that pleasing way I now knew was a trick. "Your sister needs more help than you do. You've always been so independent, so capable. We're proud of how well you've done on your own." The twisted logic took my breath away. I was punished for my success, while Maya was rewarded for her neediness. "All those times I asked for help," I said slowly, memories coming back. When I was working 2 jobs during college and barely sleeping, when my car broke down and I couldn't afford repairs, when I needed a security deposit for my first apartment, you said you couldn't help. But the money was there. It was just set aside for Maya. Dad shifted uncomfortably. "Investment choices aren't that simple, Rebecca. We had to think about the future." "Just not my future," I replied. I thought about all the payments I'd made for them over the years. The property taxes on this vacation home alone was $8,700 a year. I'd paid them for 5 years straight, plus many other costs. I'd even paid $12,000 for roof repairs last summer without complaining. All this while they were secretly saving money for my sister. The taxes are due next month, Dad said, changing the subject as he slid the bill across the coffee table toward me. And the Homeowners Association increased their fees again. I stared at him, unable to believe it. After what I just found out, he still expected me to pay? The nerve was shocking. Something inside me changed then, a deep reset. I'd been fooled, but that ended today. I'll take care of it, I said quietly, picking up the bill. My father visibly relaxed, missing the strong will in my eyes. The drive back to my downtown Mumbai apartment was a blur. The city lights that usually brought me peace seemed to glare accusingly against the darkening sky. I'd been such a fool. Once home, I ignored my ringing phone, surely my father making sure I wouldn't back out on the property tax bill, and pulled out my laptop. With shaking fingers, I opened a folder I'd carefully kept for years but never thought I'd need to use. Financial Contributions, Family. The spreadsheet that appeared showed thousands of dollars I'd put into my family's needs. 5 years of property tax payments, $43,500. Maya's car payments I'd taken over when she said she couldn't afford them, $11,680. The new roof on the vacation home, $12,000. Medical costs for my mother's knee surgery not covered by insurance, $8,200. Family trips I'd paid for as gifts, $22,400. The total made me sick. $97,780 over 5 years, all while my parents secretly put money into a trust fund for my sister. I scrolled through the digital copies of checks, transfer receipts, and text messages thanking me for my kindness. Each one now felt like proof of my own innocence. My phone buzzed with a text from Maya. "Dad says you're being difficult about the taxes. Don't be selfish, Rebecca." I laughed bitterly. Of course she would take their side. Why wouldn't she? She had always benefited from their favoritism. Another text from my father. "We're counting on you for those taxes. Don't let us down." No thank you, no acknowledgement of what I'd already given, just the expectation that I would keep paying for their life while they built my sister's future. The next morning, I called in sick to my home office and drove to see Mr. Sharma, the financial advisor who had helped me build my investment portfolio after I started making good money 3 years ago. "This is quite a list," Mr. Sharma said, looking at my spreadsheet of family contributions. His eyes widened at the total. "And you've never asked for repayment?" "They're family," I said simply. I wanted to help. Mr. Sharma took off his glasses and looked at me seriously. "Rebecca, your generosity is impressive, but this can't go on. You're hurting your own financial future while allowing them to be dependent. This isn't good for any of you." "I know that now," I said quietly. "I just found out they've created a large trust fund for my sister while letting me carry all these costs." Mr. Sharma's face grew serious. "That changes things." For the next 2 hours, we made a plan. I would need documents, signed statements of all my payments, formal receipts, a full record of everything I'd given. Mr. Sharma suggested his colleague, a financial expert named Mr. Gupta, who specialized in money disputes. "Are you sure you want to go down this path?" Mr. Sharma asked as our meeting ended. "Family fights over money can get ugly fast." I thought about the trust fund document, about years of being told there wasn't enough to help me while Maya got everything, about the property tax bill my father had pushed across the table with the casual expectation that I would handle it. "I'm sure," I said, my voice stronger than it had been in days. "It's time they understand exactly what I've been giving all these years and what happens when that giving stops." As I left Mr. Sharma's office, I felt something I hadn't felt in years when it came to my family: power. 1 week after finding out about the trust fund, I sat in Mr. Gupta's office, surrounded by piles of papers. The financial expert had been carefully organizing my money contributions to the Patel family over the past 5 years. "Your documents are impressively thorough," Mr. Gupta noted, sorting through bank statements and receipts. "Most people don't keep records this detailed." My stock trading background had taught me good record-keeping habits. Every transaction, every transfer, every cost, all carefully tracked and sorted. "So, what's the total damage?" I asked, preparing myself for the answer. Mr. Gupta slid a document across his desk. The final amount was even worse than my first guesses, $118,745. The extra $14,915 comes from interest you've lost by taking these funds from your own investments, he explained, based on your portfolio's performance over this time. That's a low estimate. I nodded, feeling a strange mix of being proven right and sadness. The numbers made the betrayal real, undeniable. What now? I asked. That depends on what you want, Mr. Gupta replied. If you're looking for legal repayment, we could build a case, though family money matters can be complex without written agreements. If you're simply recording this for your own peace of mind, or as a tool in family talks, we can prepare a full financial statement. The second option, I said, for now. As Mr. Gupta prepared the documents, my phone buzzed with text messages. Dad, haven't received the tax payment yet. Due date is approaching. Maya, Dad says you're being difficult about money after all they've done for you. Really, Rebecca? I silenced my phone without replying. Let them wonder. 3 days later, I received a signed financial statement from Mr. Gupta's office. The document listed every penny I'd given to my family over the past 5 years, sorted by who received it, what it was for, and the date. It included a calculation of lost investment chances and a statement from Mr. Sharma proving the analysis was real. That same evening, I received a call from my mother. Rebecca, your father is worried about the property tax payment, she began, her voice carefully controlled to hide any tension. The due date is next week. I know when it's due, Mom. Well, will you be handling it? You've always been so dependable about these things. The casual assumption in her voice lit something inside me. 5 years of payments without a single thank you. 5 years of giving while they secretly built my sister's savings. Not this time, I said quietly. A long pause. What do you mean? I'm not paying the property taxes anymore or any other family expenses. But we're counting on you. The money is already set aside elsewhere. For Maya's trust fund, you mean? The words hung in the air between us. Another long silence. Your father told me you saw that, Rebecca. You have to understand. I understand perfectly, Mom, I finished for her. I understand that I've given nearly $120,000 to this family over the past 5 years, while you and Dad have been telling me there wasn't enough money to help with my education or housing. I understand that I've been paying for your life while you've been securing Maya's future. That's not fair, she protested weakly. No, it's not, I agreed, and I'm done with it. I ended the call and turned my phone off completely, knowing the real storm was yet to come. My father wouldn't take this lying down. He'd always seen my financial help as a duty, not kindness. The next morning, I opened my laptop and made 3 big changes. First, I canceled the automatic payment for Maya's car. Second, I removed myself as an authorized payer on all family accounts. Third, I moved $120,000 from my trading account to a new, separate investment fund labeled My Future. For the first time in years, I felt free. The weight of constant family money expectations lifted from my shoulders. The result was quick and explosive. By noon, my phone was flooded with messages. I finally turned it back on during my lunch break, watching notifications fill my screen with a strange calm. Maya called 7 times before sending a series of increasingly frantic texts. What the hell, Rebecca? The bank says my car payment was rejected. Are you trying to ruin my credit score? I have plans this weekend. Dad is furious. Fix this now. My father's messages were more direct. Call me immediately. This is unacceptable behavior. You can't just abandon your duties to this family. I ignored them all and focused on my trading day. The markets were wild, needing my full attention. Only after closing my positions did I listen to the single voicemail my mother had left. Rebecca, please. Her voice trembled. Your father is beside himself. The property tax notice came with a late fee warning. Maya can't make her car payment. She'll lose her car. We don't understand why you're doing this. Whatever's upset you, we can talk about it. Please call us back. No mention of the trust fund issue, no acknowledgement of years of my financial help, just pressure to go back to how things were. I was writing a calm reply when my intercom buzzed. The building security guard's voice came through the speaker. "Miss Patel, your father is here demanding to see you. He's quite insistent." My stomach tightened. "Tell him I'm not available. He's saying he won't leave until you come down." I sighed. "Then call the police if he refuses to leave." "Very well, ma'am." 20 minutes later, I received a text from an unknown number. "My cousin, Rohan, just saw Uncle Raj being escorted from your building. What's going on? Are you okay?" I hadn't spoken to Rohan in months. I texted back, "I'm fine. Family financial disagreement." His response surprised me. "About time you stood up to them. The way they've treated you versus Maya has been wrong for years." I stared at my phone. I'd always thought no one else in the family noticed the difference. The support from Rohan was unexpected and deeply comforting. My doorbell rang at 7 p.m. I checked the peephole to see Maya standing there, arms crossed, foot tapping impatiently. I opened the door but blocked the entrance. "What do you want?" "What do I want?" she repeated, shocked. "I want you to explain why you're suddenly acting like a psycho. My car payment bounced. Dad says you're refusing to pay the taxes on the lake house." "Correct," I said calmly. "Why? What's your problem?" "The problem is that I've given almost $120,000 to this family over the last 5 years, while Dad has been secretly funding a trust for you." Maya's expression changed. First surprise, then guilt, then angry defensiveness. "That's different," she insisted. "The trust is for my future. I need that security." "And I don't?" "You've always been the smart one," she said, as if that explained everything. "You've got your fancy trading career. I'm still trying to find my path." "At 31, Maya, while I pay your car payments and fund family vacations?" She blushed. "You've never complained before." "Because I didn't know I was being tricked. I didn't know that while I was emptying my accounts to help the family, Dad was putting money into your trust fund." "It's not that much money," she mumbled. "$350,000 is a lot." Her eyes widened. "How do you know the exact?" "I saw the document." A moment of silence passed between us. Then, surprisingly, Maya tried a different approach. Her expression softened as she reached for my arm. "Look, Rebecca, I understand you're upset, but we're family. We need your help. Dad says without the tax payment, they might lose the lake house." I stepped back, breaking her touch. "That's not my problem anymore." "You'd let them lose the vacation home where we spent our summers? How can you be so cold?" I looked at my sister, truly looked at her, and saw the sense of entitlement that had been taught to her entire life. She truly couldn't understand why I would stop financially supporting the family. "They have options," I said. "They could use some of your trust fund." Maya's face hardened. "That's not fair." I smiled sadly. "No, Maya, nothing about this has been fair." I closed the door gently, but firmly in her face. 2 weeks passed. The property tax deadline came and went. I stayed silent with my parents and Maya, focusing instead on my work and my own financial planning. Mr. Sharma had helped me rearrange my investment portfolio now that I wasn't losing money to my family. The difference was huge. I could greatly increase my retirement savings and even think about buying a small vacation property of my own. My new peace was broken when I received an email from Uncle Raj, my father's brother. "Rebecca, what's going on with Raj in the lake house? He's asking me for a 10,000 loan to cover property taxes and penalties. Said something about you refusing to help the family anymore. This doesn't sound like you." I sat staring at the screen, a bitter laugh escaping my lips. So my father was asking other family members for money rather than touching Maya's sacred trust fund. I carefully wrote a reply, attaching a PDF summary of my financial contributions to the family over the past 5 years, along with a short explanation of the trust fund situation. Uncle Raj's response came within an hour. Holy hell, Rebecca! I had no idea. No one did. Raj been telling everyone how he's struggling to help both his daughters equally. This changes things. The next day, my cousin Rohan called. Rebecca, there's something you should know, he said. There's a family meeting happening at your parents' house this weekend. Uncle Raj called it to discuss Rebecca's abandonment of the family. He's trying to get everyone against you. My stomach tightened. Thanks for telling me. There's more, Rohan continued. I heard my dad talking to your father. Apparently, they're planning to make you feel guilty into not just starting payments again, but covering all the late fees and penalties too. The nerve was shocking. Are you going to this meeting? I asked. Yes, and so are you, Rohan said firmly. You need to set the record straight. I'll back you up. I agreed, though anxiety churned in my stomach. Facing my father with the extended family present would be hard, but maybe necessary. When Saturday came, I dressed carefully in a professional black pantsuit that always gave me confidence during tough talks. I drove to my parents' house with the complete financial documents from Mr. Gupta, including the signed statements and calculations of lost investment opportunities. The living room fell silent when I walked in. My father stood by the fireplace, clearly in the middle of a speech. Aunts, uncles, and cousins sat around the room, their faces a mix of confusion and worry. Maya sat beside our mother on the sofa, both looking uncomfortable.
Rebecca, my father quickly recovered, I'm glad you decided to join us. We were just discussing the family vacation home situation. I'm sure you were, I replied evenly, setting my briefcase on the coffee table. And I'm sure you provided everyone with all the relevant financial information. His eyes narrowed. We're discussing your refusal to meet family duties. Interesting, I opened my briefcase, because I have 5 years of financial records showing over $118,000 in family duties I've already met, money that apparently wasn't available to help with my education or housing, but was somehow available for Maya's trust fund. A wave of whispers spread through the room. My aunt, Mrs. Sharma, always direct, spoke up. What trust fund? I looked at my father, giving him the chance to answer. When he stayed silent, I passed copies of the summary document to everyone in the room. For the past 5 years, I've paid the property taxes on the Pine Lake house, covered Maya's car payments, funded family vacations, and more, totaling nearly $120,000. During the same period, my parents established a $350,000 trust fund exclusively for my sister. The room burst into many voices. My father's face turned deep red. These are private family matters, he thundered. Exactly, Uncle Raj cut in, standing up. Family matters. And in this family, we should treat our children equally. I hadn't expected this much support. As the room divided into heated discussions, my father's gaze met mine. In his eyes, I saw something I'd never seen before: fear. The fear of being exposed, of his carefully built story falling apart. And behind that fear, something even more unexpected: respect. The family meeting ended with my father storming out and my mother tearfully following him. Maya sat frozen on the couch, avoiding eye contact with everyone. The rest of the family stayed, trying to understand what they'd heard. I had no idea it was this bad, Aunt Mrs. Sharma said, studying the financial documents. Raj always made you seem like the successful one who didn't need help. Uncle Raj shook his head. This isn't right. The lake house has been part of our extended family members for years. If you've been paying those taxes all this time, you should have some ownership stake. I hadn't thought about this. The vacation property was only in my parents' names, despite my large financial investment in it. I don't want the house, I explained. I just want them to see how unfair the situation is. Rohan placed a hand on my shoulder. Recognition isn't enough, Rebecca. There should be consequences. 3 days after the family meeting, my phone lit up with a text from my father. No apology, no acknowledgement of wrongdoing, just 4 short words. The property taxes are due. I stared at the message, unable to believe his nerve. After everything that had been revealed, he was still treating me like his personal ATM. That evening, I received an unexpected call from my mother. "Rebecca," her voice was hesitant, "your father isn't handling this well. The lake house means everything to him. More than treating his daughters equally?" Her silence said it all. "Mom, I've given nearly $120,000 to this family. Dad created a $350,000 trust fund for Maya without ever offering me similar support. The difference is glaring." "I know," she admitted quietly. "I've always known it wasn't right, but your father makes the financial decisions." I finished for her. "I understand, but this is where it stops." The next morning, I texted my father back with a single attachment, a photograph of the complete, signed financial record of my contributions over the past 5 years, with the total circled in red. No other message was needed. The documents spoke for themselves. An hour after sending the photo, my phone rang. I expected my father's angry voice, but instead heard Maya's. "Rebecca?" She sounded shaken. "Dad just showed me all the documents you sent. Is it really that much? Over $118,000? "Yes, it is," I confirmed. "Every penny documented and verified by a financial expert." There was a long pause. "I had no idea," she said finally. "Dad always told me you were helping a little here and there because you had extra money. He never said you were covering major expenses while he was building my trust fund." Her voice cracked on the last words. For the first time, I heard real regret from my sister. "Rebecca, I don't know what to say. I feel terrible." "It's not entirely your fault," I agreed. "Dad created the situation. But I benefited from it," she said, "and I never questioned it. I just assumed I deserved the help." Another long pause followed. Then Maya surprised me. "I'm going to fix this," she declared. "It's not right." Before I could ask what she meant, she hung up. The next day, I received official documents from my father's lawyer. The property taxes on the Pine Lake house had been paid in full, along with a legal change to the ownership. I now owned a 25% share in the property. Attached was a note from the lawyer explaining that Maya had insisted on using funds from her trust to cover the taxes and legal fees for the ownership transfer. My phone buzzed with a text from my father. "This wasn't necessary. Family helps family." I didn't respond. His message showed that he still didn't understand or refused to admit the basic unfairness of his actions. Minutes later, another text arrived, this one from my mother. "Your father is struggling with this, but I want you to know I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself. I should have done the same years ago." That evening, Maya called again. "I've asked Dad to split the trust fund equally between us. He refused at first, but Uncle Raj and Aunt Mrs. Sharma backed me up. He's meeting with his financial advisor tomorrow to make the arrangements." I felt a weight lift, not because of the money itself, but because of what it meant. Acknowledgement, fairness, respect. "Thank you, Maya," I said sincerely. "No," she replied. "Thank you for finally making us face the truth."